Welcome to Stat, I'm telling you all medical true crime stories, and it gets bizarre. Karen Wickham, yeah, she used to work in ER, and now she's sharing the knowledge, so let's get involved. Hey, funny and scary at the same time. Medical mysteries, all facts, she ain't lying. So tune in to Stat if you dare, cause crazy things can happen anytime, anywhere. Yeah.
Hello, everybody out there in podcast land. Welcome to Stat, Shocking Traumas and Treatments. And I am your host, Karen Wickham, coming to you from beautiful Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Well, it's been a while.
It has been. We've been busy.
Well,
yeah.
It's been a rough month. And let's just get this out of the way to explain. First of all, Mary, I hope it's okay to say, lost her mom.
Of course. Guys are fam too. Fam from afar.
Yeah. So that was, going through all of that. She lost her battle to ovarian cancer. And, I already said I'm going to talk in the future about gender-specific cancers and diseases. I think it's always good to educate. So we can take this opportunity to educate, and I'm going to let's dedicate this episode to your mom.
Oh, thank you, sweet.
Mama Ruth.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you for all the supportive messages on Facebook and just the shout outs, direct messages and stuff that a few people sent and stuff. So I just wanted to thank everybody. My mom had a great life, and we're just so grateful to hospice care. I wish more people knew about hospice care and understood it. It's there, it's free, it's for you to end your life with dignity and surrounded by loved ones. And I'm just so grateful for all the staff and volunteers at Innisfree House in Kitchener. And they're amazing. They're angels on earth.
Yeah, absolutely. It wasn't, they are incredible people. Also, Mary and I, a couple days after her funeral, ended up getting the Norwalk virus.
Oh, God.
Which was...
horrible.
Oh, my God. There was no Norwalking through us. There was a Nor speed run through us. I honestly think, aside from when I had the ischemic bowel, that is the sickest I've ever felt.
It was horrible. It's horrible.
Oh my God, it was bad. It's a bad GI bug. Oh,
just knocked us on our asses.
Absolutely. And I don't like going to the hospital, but I was like, Mary looked at me. My lips were white. Like I was as pale. I thought I was gonna face plant. And I'm like, call an ambulance, which is not like me. So I had to get treated in the hospital. Anyway, I hope none of you ever get it. I also, I lost my voice for a week and a half.
Yeah, I didn't get that for some reason. I mean, it seemed to affect you differently slightly than me.
I think I puked 18 hours straight.
Well, that's true. You did do lots of vomiting.
And my ribs were, anyway. Enough of the sad story. So, it's been a rough month, and then
thanks for hanging in.
Yeah, and we wanted to, spend some time with our families over the holidays, but decided to do a New Year's Eve episode instead. Now, I was initially thinking let's do a countdown episode, but I didn't know what to count down. What do I count down?
It's not like there was great things happening in 2021 or 2020.
Yeah, I was pulling my hair out going...
Well, there were great things, but, we've been pretty beaten down by COVID, so...
Yeah, we have 16,000 new cases in Ontario today.
Oh, gosh.
Way to go, Ontario. What's that song? Good things grow in Ontario. Yes, Omicron grows very fast and very... robustly.
Yeah,
that's a really lame song for Ontario. Anyway, let's get to what we're gonna do. I decided let's do something fun, and I wanted to do some serial killer trivia. So let's do that.
All right.
Now, of course, Mary is going in, with a blind react on this, and also, I'm curious to see how many she'll get right, because I don't think you would have gotten really any of these right prior to us being together.
You've tainted me.
Yeah. I hate that word. Taint.
Erica.
Oh, yeah. Erica.
Oh, how's Erica doing?
She's doing well, you know. She ended up with the vid because now she's working for the TTC and people are filthy and but thank
Well,
goodness,
it's public transit, so you know.
yeah, but people are just gross and thank goodness she was vaccinated. Of course she was, and so she didn't get hit too hard. So yeah, thoughts and love to our buddy, our
Urka.
bud, our sister from another Mr. Urka. So anyway, I decided to do this this serial killer trivia. Now, there's 30 questions or points to be made here, and it starts off easy, and it will be totally easy for you, true crime junkies. And it starts to get more difficult. near
Which
the
is
end.
not me.
So I want you guys to be honest, and if you're on the Facebook page or whatever, tell me how many you got right. Now, be honest. Be honest. Be as honest as serial killers
It's
are.
like it's like a listen along quiz.
It's informative and, well, I guess it's interesting. Okay. Number 1. What country has the most serial killers?
I'll buzz in. Well, I'm gonna guess it's the United States.
It is. The second most serial killers, the country, is England.
I was gonna say probably the UK, just based on population and stuff.
Yeah, but it is a huge difference. The U.S. has 20 times more serial killers than England. Okay, so that's a warm up. It's getting easy.
Is there like a per capita one? Like,
yeah, there was lots of stats. The most recent one I was reading from 1950 to 2016 was something like 3,500 serial killers in the U.S. versus like 80 or 90 now in the UK. But don't hold me to that.
okay, but serial killers is what? How many people do they have to? What's the definition?
Well, it changes, or it doesn't change. It depends on who you're referencing. The FBI was sort of like 2 or more.
Okay.
But in my opinion, I'm thinking 3 or more. But there's some people that have that's the, you know, the opinion of for them is 3 or more. The FBI is 2 or more.
Okay.
So, yeah. Okay, what's the most common method of murder in serial killings?
Well, the thing that popped in my head first was strangulation. Yeah, okay.
The most common method is by gun. But if you think about like mafia and like gangs and, you know, mass killings and stuff like that, I think, you know, that's where I'm seeing it.
Is how serial killer kills or how most murder
serial
happen?
killers.
Really? That
Like
surprises
you think,
me.
I don't know, I think of something like the DC Sniper where they went and just were picking people off. But yeah, because when we think of serial killer, often we think about these ones that are big in the news. But if you think about like mafia hitmen or women, they go out and they kill like the Iceman back in the 70s and 80s. I mean, this guy, he was just picking people off all the time. And he didn't always use a gun. He liked using poison quite a bit. But the point is that I don't think at least I don't really think about or in the past hadn't thought about all these other, you know, mass or murders or serial killings but by everyday criminals that, you know what I'm saying? They're not everyday criminals. What I'm saying is there's a lot of serial killers that go out and kill people with 2 or more people with their gun. And they're not always front in the news because they're not as, you know, sexy, quote unquote, for you know, if it bleeds, it leads kind of deal. So let's go through the list of the most common methods. Gun, strangulation, stabbing, bludgeoning, poisoning, axing, drowning, smothering, burning, forced overdose, and run over by a vehicle.
Okay. Well, I was close. Strangulation was number 2.
It was, yeah. Okay. What is your typical serial killer? If you were to say, draw a picture of who the typical serial killer looks like, it would be...
Elmer Fudd? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my God.
You want like a picture or like a demographic?
No, a demographic.
Oh, okay. White male, like mid to late 30s, 40s?
Okay, well, we'll leave it at white male.
Okay.
90% of serial killers are white men. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yes.
Now, women serial killers make up 17%. Now, it doesn't make any sense because 90% white male, but I think what they're saying is murders that women commit, 17% of those are serial killings, like Eileen Wuornos. Okay. Number 5. Are serial killers legally insane?
No.
That's right. They're not. Most know what they're doing. Their brain isn't working right, obviously, but they know what they're doing. They know the difference between right and wrong. And it's rare to have a successful insanity defense. It almost never happens. But for an example where it did work, or where it did get decided, was with Ed Gein. He was clearly insane.
Yeah.
I think of Andrea Yates, too. Like, this woman was, postpartum psychosis. 100%. Again, not justifying any of the horrible things that happened. But if someone was insane at the time, I believe she was an example of someone that was. But Ed Gein, 100% for sure, was off his rocker.
Mm-hmm.
And I think everybody that listens to the show would know who Ed Gein is. He's the guy that, was making a
woman's suit.
A women's suit from skin and had...
Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, he had, lamp shades and made from human skin. He had a nipple belt.
Ugh, I think my breakfast is coming back up.
Don't be such a wuss.
But here's my question. So I don't know what it's like in the States, but here in Canada, someone like Andrea Yates, they might find her not criminally responsible. Do they have the same kind of a thing in the States?
Yeah, I think so.
Like the guy that, what was his name? The guy that beheaded the guy on the Greyhound bus out in, was it Saskatchewan or?
Yep. He's free. I think he was, he was to go to, obviously he's schizophrenic. He was legally insane or not criminally responsible. And a couple of years later they said, oh, well, he's, well managed now. His mental illness is well managed and he's free out there. Now he has some supervision that's like he's got to check in with his doctor and take his medications and all that kind of stuff. But what the actual fuck? Come on. Yeah. This is where I think our country is too lenient. Carla fucking Homolka. 12 years. 12 years. She's out in Quebec right now. Married with children. Married out. Oh, I'm just going to leave it right there.
Yeah.
Okay, so number 6. Do you know what the Mcdonald Triad is?
Nah. Big Mac, fries, and Coke.
That's the Hangover Triad.
Sorry, it's my McDonald's. Big Mac fries to go. Big Mac fries to go.
Oh
I have no idea what the McDonald Triad is.
Okay.
I'm going to say it's like a psychological triad of symptoms or things that people have.
When I tell it to you, you're going to know. So this theory was developed by forensic psychiatrist J.M. Mcdonald. And what he felt was a precursor or a sign of future serial killing or bad behavior was fire starting, bedwetting, and animal torture. Okay?
Right.
Now, so it's been debunked that this, in fact, is not, a precursor to serial killing. However, I mean, fire starting and animal torture is a pretty good indicator of scary future behaviors. But even when he put it out, he was sort of like, I think this could be. He wasn't 100% convinced himself. And there's been a lot of studies about it, and it's been disproven that it's not a thing. But it's still sort of out there, and some people still believe that that's, the accurate. So I did for a while. I was like, oh yeah, they did this, this, and this. However, that's not always the case. In fact, it's rarely the case. Okay, so number 7. Where does the term bad seed come from? I think this is really interesting. So, like, oh, they're a bad seed.
Yeah.
They're a juvenile delinquent.
Bad seed. I don't know. Okay, let me try and think of something. Bad seed. Nope, I got nothing.
Okay. It's based on a horror novel written by William March called Bad Seed. And it was an award-winning novel also made into a play. And it's about an 8-year-old serial killer. Therefore, so she was a bad seed. Therefore, moving forward, that term has been used now as bad seed. Now, I really want to get this book now. So I'm looking around for it. Anyway, I want to read Bad Seed. Okay. Now, 8. What is a male black widow called?
A male black widow. Do I get a hint? Is it in the spider family still?
No, I don't think you'll get it. Just because I didn't know, so I'm assuming you don't.
I'm going to go with something snake. A black asp. Not ass. Asp. With a P. Like,
no, he's called a bluebeard.
A bluebeard?
Yeah. So,
like a pirate?
Gilles de Rais, that was his name, fought alongside of Joan of Arc. And he killed hundreds of young men and boys in 15th century France. But that's not... I just wanted to give you a background of who he was. But he had many, many wives that just kept disappearing.
Okay.
And one of the wives was like, okay, this is, this is scary. And she went into a room that he forbade her to go into. She went in, opened the door, and then the discovery of remains and, serial killings were in the room. And she's like, oh, fuck. I don't know if they said that in 15th century France. Merde.
Merde.
And
crappy merde.
Yeah. So she told her brother, and a friend told her brother, and they showed up at the house and murdered him. And he was like, he had a lot of money, so she inherited his estate and all his money, and then married the man of her dreams and lived happily ever after. So that is what a male black widow's called.
A bluebeard.
A bluebeard.
Never heard that term. Did he have a blue beard?
Well, apparently he had like such black hair, and his beard was so black it looked blue. Like it had, Anyway, so.
Okay. Bluebeard.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so next. Where is John Wayne Gacy's brain? Where?
Wes.
Where is John Wayne Gacy's brain?
I will say the Smithsonian.
No, it's not. But good choice. Answer. Forensic psychiatrist Dr. Helen Morrison has it in a jar of formaldehyde in her basement since 1994. She spent over 50 hours interviewing John Wayne Gacy. And she believed that he was legally insane. So Gacy said he wanted his brain to be studied for science. And they studied it, and they saw nothing out of the ordinary with his brain. And then she has it now in her basement.
I wonder if like new technology like MRIs and CTs, that if they could look at it in a different way.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think that it would have lit up in all the wrong places or not lit up. And just closer examination. Right now, I believe that brain would just be mush. Because, our brains are pretty much just gray jelly to begin with. So, okay. Next. What gift did John Wayne Gacy give to the OG profiler Robert Ressler? What did he gift him with?
His clown nose? His clown suit?
No, a painting of himself as Pogo the Clown. He liked to paint.
Oh, God.
And I believe some of his
creepy
paintings were sold, but then they put a law in place where killers can't make a profit off of it. And I think it's more, just
good
criminals in general.
Speaking of creepy clowns, there's your little creepy clown right in front of you.
I got a little action figure from my son for Christmas of Pennywise. You know what I didn't say? How much of a wonderful Christmas we did have.
We did have a good
Let's just slam this right in the middle of a serial killer.
We hope you all had a wonderful Christmas too. We
I
did. It was very cozy and quiet, but it was nice.
With my amazing son and his girl, and Mary and me
and Mabel
and Finn,
Meatball and Maggie. the whole menagerie.
Okay, so let's get back to this. So he gave him a painting of himself as Pogo, and then he wrote an inscription on the back that said, "Dear Bob Ressler, you cannot hope to enjoy the harvest without first laboring in the fields. Best wishes and good luck, John Wayne Gacy, June 1985." So Ressler said to Gacy, "Well, what do you mean by that?" And he said, "Well, Mr. Ressler, you're the criminal profiler. You're the FBI. You figure it out." So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I know I've got
Very
a couple
creepy
of Gacy things here, but I mean, this guy ended up like, he's like the quintessential psychotic serial killer. So, something interesting. He was at a fundraiser dressed up as Pogo, and at the time, First Lady Rosalind Carter, of Jimmy Carter, was attending the fundraiser at the same time, and there's a picture of her and him together.
Oh my God, horrible!
I know. So that was just interesting. Okay, 12. What was used that was new for the time? Okay, controversial forensic technique was used to convict Bundy. So it was really a brand new.
Oh, I know this one because I think I watched the show with you.
Okay,
bite marks.
Exactly.
I got one right. I got one right.
I don't know if you should be proud of that or not.
No, I remember when we were watching the Ted Bundy tapes or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, 13. What got BTK, bind, torture, kill serial killer, Dennis Rader, busted? In the long run, 30 years he was out free. So and he was seen as a loving husband and father. He was a Cub Scout leader, scary. And he was also a church deacon.
Yikes.
So what was it that got him busted?
DNA?
No. So this guy just, wasn't getting enough attention. So he sent a letter on a floppy disk to the FBI, and it was traced to the computer used at the church with his
login
attached to.
Oh my God!
Imagine 30 years free. I mean, and then he's like, I'm not getting enough attention. And yeah, got him busted.
Attention-seeking behavior got him busted.
Yeah, just ridiculous. Okay, what famous serial murderer and doctor sold the skeletons of his murder victims to medical schools?
What was that guy in Chicago? And the World's Fair guy.
Yeah.
H.H.
Holmes.
H.H. Holmes.
Yep.
I
didn't know if you
I
were gonna
don't
get it.
know. I wouldn't remember.
But
I
you
mean,
were
now you
right.
say that, I know the name, but I remember.
Oh, this like murder castle he built. It had like rooms and chutes and
What?
yeah, like he would like dump a body down. It would go into a chute down to another, like into his basement where he would he had rooms that he would gas people
Like an
in.
abattoir or something?
Yeah, he was like absolutely insane. He's the ultimate doctor serial killer, and I think he's considered one of the first American serial killers and one of the worst.
Did they ever make a movie about him?
I believe so. Yeah, he was in. They did his character in American Horror Story. What was it? The Hotel. And yeah, so yeah. Okay, number 15.
So I got like a half a point there?
Yeah, I'd give you a whole point.
Okay.
You pretty much got it. Okay, what voice did David Berkowitz hear? Okay, he's the son of Sam. That told him to commit his murders.
I thought for a second he was the Unabomber guy, but that's... No, that's good. Son of Sam.
So what did he say? He heard a voice, and it was telling him to commit the murders.
Well, usually it's, God, of course.
No, it was his neighbor's black lab, Harvey.
Okay.
And then when his defense lawyer was sort of like, let's plead insane, he's like, no. And he pled guilty and, was put away. There's so much more to the Son of Sam. There's a documentary out recently that indicates that there was more than one person involved in the Son of Sam killings, which is interesting. We should.
But he took credit solely by himself.
Yeah. It was years later.
Was he executed or?
No, he got 365 years. So I don't think he's gonna. Yeah. Okay. So, what is the nickname of Britain's worst serial killer, Peter Sutcliffe?
I think I know this one, but I just don't know. Like I know it. I'll know it when you say it. Were you watching this? Is there a thing, a show?
I think I've watched every show.
Exactly. No, but there was one on like Sundance or something. Was that him?
There are so many that I've watched. Okay. I can't remember where I've watched them.
Oh, wait. Gentleman something? No.
The Yorkshire Ripper.
Oh, okay. No, that wasn't what I was thinking.
Okay, so these are kind of like, nicknamey things because I just found it interesting and see if anybody... I tried to find the more difficult ones, so many of you are probably laughing like, you call that difficult? Well, two. Okay, Albert DeSalvo was thought to be the famous blank. His nickname, what was his nickname?
No, I don't know. Is this guy like a Latin American guy or something?
The Boston Strangler.
Oh, no.
Actually, there was two of them. Okay.
There was two Boston Stranglers?
There was two. It was a...
Copycat?
No, it was a duo.
Oh.
They worked together.
That's weird.
Okay, so what was the nickname of Peter Curtin? He was from Germany.
No, I don't know any German serial killers. Nicknames.
He was known as the Vampire of Dusseldorf.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why was that?
He just... he was
Wait,
convicted of nine... He was
okay.
convicted of 9 murders and 31 attempted murders. He was a sexual sadist and just all around, monster. And he tried or drank the blood of his victims.
Right.
So that's why he was known
as the vampire.
All right, this one I'm thinking you can get. Richard Ramirez was known as the blank.
Night Stalker?
Yes.
Hey.
Very good.
I got another one right.
So is that 2.5 you got right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so Albert Fish. Remember me telling you about this guy?
Yes.
He was an old, creepy old man serial killer that loved to stick pins in his taint. Like he loved...
Ouch.
I know. He loved pain. He was a cannibal. He was a child murderer, pedophile. Like, you put all the worst shit together, and that's who Albert Fish was. Okay, so he was given 3 nicknames. Which one of these was he not given? So 3 of them are right, and 1 of them's wrong, okay?
Okay.
The Brooklyn Vampire, the Butcher, the Cannibal, and the Werewolf of Wisteria.
I'm going to go with the first one.
Nope. One nickname that he was not given was the Butcher.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Actually, you know what? I said Albert DeSalvo was the Boston Strangler, that he worked with someone else, and I'm wrong about that. He did not. I was getting him mixed up with this duo, Kenneth Bianchi and Angelo Buono. Okay? They were known as the Hillside Stranglers.
Oh, I was just about to say that.
Oh, were you?
Yes.
Okay, I'll give you the
I was
point
like,
for it.
were they in California?
Yes, they were in California. So I was wrong about that one.
Okay. I do
bet you
remember.
guys were like, no, you don't know what you're talking about, Karen. Because everybody has that voice out there. Okay. The next question, trivia, number 22. What was the nickname of the serial killer Dean Corll?
I don't know that guy.
The Candyman.
A Candyman.
Yeah.
Oh,
He raped, tortured, murdered at least 28 boys and young men between 1970 and 1973. And he had 2 accomplices that would help lure them in, and actually one of those accomplices actually shot him. He was known...
Wait, the accomplice shot the Candyman?
Yeah.
Oh.
He was named the Candyman because well, this is my part 2. So question 23. Why was he called the Candyman? Because he and his family had previously owned and operated a candy factory in Houston Heights. And he had been known to give free candy to local children.
Don't accept candy from strangers,
Yeah,
people.
exactly. I guess maybe that's where that term came from him.
Lure them or something?
Yeah. Well, he would offer some, young men, hey, you want to party? Like, remember, this is 1970. People there was a lot more trust, I guess, out there. And it's like
open, yeah.
Hey, you want to party? Yeah, sure, I'll party. Or he would offer like little kids a ride home. And a lot of the times they'll say, hey, I know your mom and dad, they want to know if I saw you to give you a ride home. So they know how to use these, like the whole puppy, and want to take a look at the puppy kitten. They know they're sick fucks, and they just know how to lure kids in. Okay, this is cool. Number 24. Which serial killer was the inspiration for the murderous character Scorpio in the 1971 film Dirty Harry?
I don't know that. Let me just think about that. So Dirty Harry, there was, yes, Clint was stalking him. I don't remember what he did. No, I don't know.
The Zodiac Killer.
Oh, okay.
Like Scorpio, or like the Zodiac Killer, he terrorized San Francisco Bay Area, taunted the police with letters and phone calls. Number 25. Which serial killer was the inspiration for the character Leatherface in the 1974 film The Texas Chainsaw Massacre? He was also inspiration for Buffalo Bill.
Well, I was gonna say Ed Gein.
Yes, and Psycho, Norman Bates.
Wow.
So yeah, Ed Gein. 26. Which of the following factors is not used by criminal experts to classify serial killers? A, motive of killing. B, social patterns. And C, method of killing. which is not, are one of the factors that are not used.
I'm going to guess motive because sometimes they're psychos, so how can you even have a motive?
Actually, it's method of killing.
Oh, really? Okay.
Okay.
I would have thought, because they usually have like an MO, right?
Well, you have to have motive to, prosecute a case. So you need to have an idea of what their motive is behind it. Okay. Where did Ted Bundy work before he became a serial killer? A, grocery store. B, a private clinic. C, a suicide prevention hotline.
Oh, God. I thought you were going to say like an accounting firm or something. Wait, what were they again? Grocery store?
Private clinic.
Private clinic.
And suicide prevention hotline.
I'll go for suicide prevention hotline.
Yes, you are right.
Oh, God. That was a
Because
complete
it's just so ridiculous. It's true.
Oh, God.
Okay, 28. What famous serial killer was known as the Giggling Granny?
The Giggling Granny.
Yeah. So she was seen as this mother grandmother figure, jolly, happy, warm,
Norman Bates' mother, no.
Her name was Nanny Doss. She killed 4 husbands and some of their children, adopted children that she adopted when she married, and some of her children and grandchildren actually died of all, not all of them, but the ones that did die were all of mysterious deaths. And she came from a really abusive background. She wanted that idyllic life, and when she wasn't getting it, she just she killed their husbands. But okay, fine, not great, but to kill the kids. All right, obviously. So she was known as the Giggling Granny.
Nice. Was she poison them or something? Probably.
Yes. That is what is likely suspected. But yeah, she poisoned them. Women, poisoning is a common way that women kill. It's not bloody. It's not messy. It's at arm's distance. It's not up close and personal, so to speak. Okay. So that's her. 29. What serial killer's last words just before they were getting executed on the electric chair? These were his last words. See if you can think about what their name was. Hey fellas, how about this for a headline for tomorrow's paper? French fries. End quote. The guy's name was James French. Well, at least you can laugh about it.
No, I have no idea who that is.
Okay. I don't know if a lot of people do. All right. German child serial killer Joakim Kroll was a pedophile, necrophile, and cannibal. He is just, again, one of the worst monsters to ever exist. How was he captured? Okay. So you can imagine this guy, the further and the longer that these killers go without being caught, the more they do it, the sloppier they get, or they get really arrogant and cocky about it, like they're never going to get caught. So on June 3rd, 1976, he was arrested for kidnapping and killing a 4-year-old girl. The police were going from home to home to look for the murderer and maybe find the girl. So his neighbor approached a policeman that was out walking around and told him that the waste pipe in his apartment building had been blocked up. And when he asked his neighbor, Joakim Kroll, if he knew what was clogging up the pipe, he replied, guts. So he told that to the police. They went to his apartment and they found body parts in the fridge. A hand was boiling in a pan of water, a little hand, and intestines were found clogging up the pipes.
Oh my God. That is just despicable.
I am not usually without words for things. But if you're going to look like put together the ultimate monster, like sick fuck, this guy was definitely one of them. You just
casually, oh, it's guts.
Yeah, guts. Okay, so that's it for the quiz
Oh,
trivia.
Okay.
So add
I
up
got,
your
like, 3
points,
right.
and if you can, tell me what you got. If you're on the Facebook page, just tell me there, or you can email me, message me. If you're not on the Facebook page, it is Stat Shocking Traumas and Treatments group, and of course, you've heard me say it many times before. It's amazing people, the best people in that group. Okay. So the next thing I want to do is I wanted to just do a recap over some of the cases that I did last year, and I wanted to see what ones were the most popular, and I was actually surprised by them. So I covered Dr. Andrew Wakefield, the
Asshole.
godfather of fucking anti-vax, and look at how it's still what the damage it's done. I mean,
That's infuriates
he
me.
started this whole movement, all of this, and then it just was, perfect for all the shit that's unraveled since then.
I just love how people now are just like, well, I saw this on Facebook or whatever. And you can imagine some epidemiologist who spent like 10, 12 years getting their PhD going, like, hello,
Yeah.
do you not think maybe I'm the expert here? Like, how insulting.
No, they're the expert. It just, as long as it fits their agenda, anything is, I don't know. I can't get into it because I just get so incredibly irate now. Like I've had to like turn my head as much as possible. Because, where was I getting? I tried to teach people. I tried to be reasonable and a moment of education in a nice way, but they don't want to fucking learn. They're unteachable. It's just, oh, well, this is an inconvenience to me, so fuck the rest of you. And I'm just going to say one more thing. One of the worst things, it's a perfect explanation how people will double down and how they're so unwilling to admit to being wrong or to let go of their agenda. So family members, they're saying, their loved one is getting very sick with COVID pneumonia, that type of thing, and all, other things like blood clots, you name it. So they're like, don't go to the hospital, they'll kill you there. Okay. So when they get there, the family members then start telling the doctors and nurses how they want their critically ill loved one to be treated. Well, don't give them this, and you can't give them that, but I want you to give them ivermectin. So the doctors and nurses are constantly being inundated with phone calls from these psychopaths telling them how to treat. So you can imagine there's barely enough time to breathe, let alone take these phone calls. And then they say, do not put them on a ventilator because the ventilator will kill them. So when the patient ultimately dies, they say that it was the hospital not giving the ivermectin and putting them on the ventilator that killed that person. Not getting the disease. So now all these lawsuits are being put into place. What a fucking disaster. The logic in that just blows my mind. It's like, I'm diabetic and I haven't really taken great care of myself. I get a foot ulcer that I really don't know that's there because, I can't feel it. Then I end up in the hospital getting my foot amputated. And it was the hospital's fault that my foot was so badly infected that I had to get it cut off. Like, that's the logic of it. Anyway, okay. Woosa. Dr. Marcel Petio. You remember? Mm-hmm. The French dude that took advantage of Jewish people during the Nazi Germany occupation. It's just, son of a bitch. Beverly Allett. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Kimberly Sains. So Beverly Allett was the nurse that murdered the children in the UK. Mm-hmm. Then there was Kimberly Sains from Texas, who was putting bleach in the dialysis machines. And then the Alpine Manor murders, Murders, with Gwendolyn Graham and Kathy Woods. And then the one episode that really had a lot of listens was the Hardcore ER Family Massacre that I did. Now, I'm not going through all the things that I put out, but so the most popular was, the Hardcore ER. But out of the other miniseries, the most popular out of those was the Kimberly Sains one, which I found really fast. Like, I never would have expected that one to be as popular as it was. And then next to that was Marcel Petio, and then Andrew Wakefield, and then the Alpine Manor Murders, and then Beverly Allett. So that's the case. If you guys can let me know which one of those was your favorite and why, that would be great. I'd love to know that. Okay, so what's upcoming this year? Well, I'm going to finish Dr. Dale Cavanis. And I do want to cover gender-specific diseases and cancers. But in terms of, in terms of miniseries, I've got these 3 that I'm definitely going to cover, and then the rest I'm going to sort of decide. Dr. Cream. I don't know if you've heard of Dr. Cream. He was a serial killer doctor.
Yes, because you got the book.
Yes. Okay, serial killer from 1892. He killed in 3 countries, UK, Canada, and the US. And, very fascinating case. So we're going to cover that dude. The next is the nurse, Donald Harvey. So, serial killer nurse. Leave it at that. I'm sure everybody's heard Donald Harvey. And then also Amy Archer Gilligan, also known as Sister Amy. She ran the home for elderly people and chronic invalids. So terrible what they would name these. And she was the basis of the play and the movie and the book Arsenic and Old Lace. Oh. Yeah, the book written by Joseph Kesserling.
I love the movie.
So, so his book, made it, and then the play, and then the movie. So I just found her really, her case, or what she did, horrific and kind of fascinating at the same time, how she went about doing it. So definitely covering those cases. I just don't want to cover cases that everybody knows about, because everybody knows about it. Like, for instance, Donald Harvey. I'm sure everybody knows about this case, but I want to tell it from a very different perspective, from my nurse perspective, how I see it. Like this Amy Archer Gilligan that ran this home. I want to tell it from how I see it from a nurse perspective and how she went about killing them. So even though she's not directly a healthcare provider, she was providing healthcare. So, and then Dr. Cream, just because I like his name. I love Cream. Honestly, I'm going to say something that I know is going to upset Lorraine and all my UK people. And I don't know, maybe even Australian, New Zealand people. Cream tea. That's going to make them mad, just saying cream and tea together. I know you don't put cream in tea.
No.
Well,
we can put milk in tea sometimes.
I know, but the thought of putting cream in tea, I know would upset. So, yeah. Anyway, we're going to leave it at that. So that is today's episode. I do want to give a thank you to one of my our new Patreon supporters, Laura DeRay. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you to everybody that has supported me on Patreon this year. I really appreciate it, you guys. It's helped out so much. And continues to. Thank you for everybody who listens, that's on the Facebook group, all of you that have left reviews on iTunes. Incredible. It's been, one hell of a year. One hell of a year. And I think we've done well. And we're still here. And we're supporting each other, standing by each other, and loving each other. So just keep it going, you guys. the holidays can be really, really difficult. I know, like, suicide rates go up, depression, loneliness. It's huge what happens in terms of the effects on mental health. And just know that you guys are never alone, okay? Even though you might feel that way, you're never alone. So on that note, I don't know if 2022 is going to be much better in terms of COVID, that kind of thing. Maybe we're hoping this Omicron is a sign that it's, even though it's highly infectious, that maybe it's not as strong. Maybe it's fizzling out. We don't know yet. But let's continue to kick ass. Let's continue to do what's right. Wear our masks, get vaccinated, wash our hands, not go to big events, that kind of stuff. Let's just continue to love each other and love ourselves and support each other. And on that note, I'm going to say Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.
And let's just try to destroy 2022 and make it the year that we
come back strong.
And, well, I mean, it's taken a lot of strength just to get through the last couple of years.
True.
But maybe, maybe this is the year that we can see COVID fizzle out. I don't know. I'm just hoping.
Fingers crossed.
Okay. So take care of yourself, take care of one another, and most importantly, love yourself. Peace.
One love.
True crime and it gets none realer. Sometimes it'll be the cure that'll kill ya. Gotta watch out, yeah, you gotta watch your back, cause you don't wanna be another episode on Stat. Thank you for tuning in, learn a thing or two. These medical mysteries can be unbelievable, yeah. Subscribe, make sure you do that so you'll be tuned in and be ready for the next show. Stat.